getting too hot. I'ma take my robe off. Okay. We just lost everyone. All right. We're going to start recording the mixer in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to Dave Talks Some More, a podcast at the intersection of humor and, Hey, I'm your host, Dave, and together we'll explore a riveting world of mundane topics with unparalleled indifference. So get ready for a riveting journey through,
whatever.
This is Dave Talks Some More. Far out, man. Does y'all screaming whatever come through on the actual recording?
Absolutely.
I've always wondered about it. Does it really?
Yeah, it's boosted our analytics 37% since we started doing that.
The sketch we missed last week, we might, I think, miss next week too.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is it. This is the show that you get. And it's time to introduce Dabs Curley is here. She's got the Blues Clues chair, as it's called. We would have started 20 minutes ago. We've been fixing hair and getting all of the nervousness. I don't know why you're nervous, but I mean, it's just Sean.
This is my debut into the world of famousness.
It is. It is.
It is a debut.
Yeah.
Oh. Do I have to look at myself like that the whole time?
No, you can just look at us.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the ideal thing to do, I think.
You
Yeah.
look at me or Dave.
Yeah, but the
or
red
Danny.
sweater is just so obvious.
It's very pretty, but
Yeah,
yes, just go ahead and look at the people that are talking to you, I would say.
Got it.
Got it.
Sean Guy gave us some disturbing information about you, Dabs,
right.
that you are a responsible driver. That
Oh my
worries
God.
me.
Sean, I pray that guy will get a ticket. He goes 90 and he's proud of it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, come on.
And one time I heard sirens. I was like, yes, they're pulling you over. And he was like, no.
It's what's your feeling when you're driving along and well, this may not be the question for you, Dabs, because I don't think you speed. But Sean, what's your feeling when you're driving way too fast and you pass up the police and they immediately trip their lights and then they come racing up behind you and pull over the guy in front of you?
Yeah, Sean's probably
I
like,
think hell yes.
I could see Sean being like, screw you,
But
motherfucker.
Now I
see all that.
I am the driver that you're going down the highway, the cop's in the left lane, no one, right or left lane, no one will pass him.
Oh, I'll pass a cop.
I will pass a cop
cop
100% of the time.
Okay, what if he's speeding? Will you follow suit with him? Will you go the same speed
Yes.
and follow him behind?
Oh, yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You should
100%.
follow the law.
Maybe.
I am.
That's-
technically following the law.
There it
Valid
is.
point. Valid
Yeah,
point.
quick. Yeah. For some reason we're cutting this on Sunday evening, and I've noticed all week long that the traffic police are out in force. Too late for me to give the warning out, but it's been a heavy police presence for writing tickets, which that's kind of what they do at the end of the month and the beginning of the month for reasons I'm sure nobody can possibly imagine. The question occurred to me because I try to think of questions that I try to answer. If you're in a crowded lane of traffic, how many cars go through a red light before it's wrong? Like it's green and then you're still waiting for your turn to go through, and then it's yellow, and then you're still waiting for cars to go through, and then it's red. How many cars get to go through before it's wrong? I know, Dabs, you're going to say
No.
zero. Sean, you've got a better answer.
Yeah, I do. As many as can make it safely.
Right. Like the people that are at a 90-degree angle to you, when they start edging out, like enough of you, that's when you have to cut it off.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is the correct answer. You get an A on your test.
Thank you.
So, Dabs, give us that we haven't given you a very good introduction.
No,
So far, it's just
pretty
been
bad.
negative
That was
things.
Sean. It's supposed to have been about Sean.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, he takes all, you're going to find out he takes all the oxygen
I
out of the
don't
room.
I don't doubt it.
And we'll turn back to Sean in a minute,
Oh,
I'm
sure we
sure.
will,
But tell us who you are, what you do, what you're into, what's your
So-
sign.
Okay, so
Everything.
I'm a Pisces. I'm into working. I do. I'm an anesthesiologist. I really have no hobbies or interesting.
It's great.
And there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing interesting about me.
And we'll be right back.
So yeah, it's really sad.
How hard is it to be an anesthesiologist? That doesn't seem like a hard job.
Oh my God, this is gonna be great.
So it's interesting. So it's not that hard.
See?
So anesthesia is 90% boredom, 10% pure terror.
Pure terror.
Yeah.
What's the pure terror? How hard can it
the
be?
heart
You
stops.
put somebody to sleep, it's no big deal.
Well, you lose the airway. They can't breathe. You're worried about them dying. Then you got some lawyers sitting around. You're like, what am I going to do?
Oh, they're sick. They were sick anyway. That's why they're there.
No, I mean, you do that. When things go bad, they go bad fast. So you got to be there. That's why we're in the room.
Well, all you have to do is pull their head real hard to make sure that their airway's unobstructed.
We just pull their head.
It just doesn't seem that hard to me.
Yeah.
Like a chiropractor could be.
It's pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same thing. Well, that's kind of what I thought. Okay.
Little spinal traction. I don't know. I hope it gets better, though.
This 45-second clip is going to be played in every deposition you give for the rest of your career.
Now, Dabs is downplaying herself a little bit. She is also an expert at capturing and trapping
armadillos. Bobby,
What?
Bobby. Okay, so I'm not into hunting. I have never been into it.
Despite the fact that she's from Georgia.
Okay, doesn't necessarily mean anything. But we had this armadillo, and we couldn't catch it. So I have this great plan. I'm going to go out 5 o'clock in the morning. I have a broom, I have a bucket, and I have a headlamp. And my plan was to find the armadillo, hit it, let it roll up into a ball, and then I was going to trap it in the bucket. Okay? Well, it didn't go that way. So I...
Shocker.
Shocker.
So I hit the armadillo. It rolls into a ball. I put my bucket on top of it, which was too small for the armadillo. Then he starts running straight at me.
As they will do.
Frightening. So I'm running through my yard screaming at my mother, who lives in a guest house with me, help, help. I asked her to go get some sort of box or something. And I tried to hit him into the box.
5:30 in the morning.
5:30 in the morning with my headlight. Hit him into the box. We couldn't do it. So we ended up buying an armadillo trap. And
they make them. Yes.
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
scented. And so
It has to be. Explain the scent.
So once you catch I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
So, we put the trap out, and oddly enough, it catches the armadillo. And what you do is once you get them, you pour a bunch of dirt and some water on top of them and let them marinate for a day. And then that way it rescents the trap. So we let Bobby, called him Bobby, marinate. And then we had to take him to the trace to release him. And I was too terrified because if he got out...
You released the armadillo.
Yeah, I'm not into killing. See, I feel
I participated in the release.
Why are we not?
Well, you can't kill an armadillo in the trap because it will make no other armadillo. They're like, oh, that smells like dead armadillo. I'm not going there. So also, I don't believe in hunting animals unless you eat them. And I really didn't want to eat Bobby.
And we didn't want to touch Bobby either because
You gave him a name?
Bobby.
I didn't.
So anyway.
You named the armadillo that
She
you were
did.
going to
So I call Sean.
rehome in the trace.
I call him. Call Sean.
Good Lord.
And I
Wow,
say,
okay.
hey, Sean, really need some help. Can you take the armadillo and we'll meet you out at the trace? And I mean, he looked like, oh, dear God. So he calls his wife, Sarah, and he says, you'll never guess what I'm doing. I'm taking an armadillo to the trace to release with Dabs. And Sarah is such a great person. She was like, oh, maybe the girls want to go. And Sean was like, no.
To go let an... Okay.
Hold on. This story's
got a lot of problems.
Is this why we don't have any visitors or listeners? Okay, so...
This is exactly why we don't have
Yeah,
listeners.
no doubt. So we get to the trace. I got to fix my microphone. We get to the trace, and I'm going to show Sean how you get the armadillo out. So we open the doors, and we're trying to aim Bobby into the woods. And so he won't come out.
Away from the trace.
Away from the road, yeah. He won't come out, and I'm hitting him with a stick. And I don't know what Sean was like. He's a guy, so he thought he could do it better, but actually he could. So he got which remind me to tell you the story of when I told my daughter why they don't need men to help them. But anyway, we get Bobby out. Well, Sean and I are just sitting there chatting, and my daughter's filming Bobby, like his release, and she's like, "Where is Bobby? Where is Bobby? No!" And Bobby,
Guess where Bobby was going? To the trace.
To the trace across the road with cars coming.
Ran across the trace.
That's what they do.
Yeah, well, so then we're just all standing in horror.
They're trying to save Bobby. I'm laughing because I thought it was rather funny.
Right. Well, so Bobby almost got hit by a car, but then he made it.
Unfortunately, he did not.
I have a video, and we're all like, "Bobby, yes!"
Well, not we. They were. I was not pulling for Bobby to live.
Next episode, we can go ahead and put that video on the screen so everyone can experience this.
We can. Well, not the part
I may
with me.
be pulling your man card after this. I don't feel good about this, Sean.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway. And then Sean sends me a diagram of the trace and has a big X. Bobby is here. To make us all feel better. Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all go in the same vehicle?
No, because I didn't want the armadillo.
Well, then, all right. So he's got the
I have
armadillo.
this trap.
No, hang on. He's got an armadillo
In a trap.
in the back of his truck.
Well, she couldn't lift the trap. The trap
but
is this
that
enormous.
is so
What-
rude.
wait,
I
wait,
could
wait.
lift the trap.
What-
I didn't want to lift the trap and have it open
What
and
do
have
you
Bobby
need,
attack.
no offense, but what do you need dabs for? You've got the trap. You've got the armadillo. Go if you're not going to kill it, just go find some wood somewhere and release it, and you're done.
Well,
Why are we
because-
making a ceremony?
Because then
She
he
out of
wanted to
this?
see it.
well, because
It was her.
that and,
animal.
and he probably didn't want to drive back.
It was
and-
her animal that she just trapped him and was releasing.
I don't know. We all went. Okay, we just went.
Okay.
It was an experience.
All right.
So I'm going to follow up with this story. So I was raised never depend on a man ever, ever, ever. You just take care of yourself, which is probably why I have such messed up dating life. But anyway, our water broke. We live in Jackson. The pipe's leaking. It's going
Right.
everywhere. So I'm out there with my daughter and my mother, who is a little bit older than me. And it started getting dark. We'd been out there forever. We couldn't get the little key to turn. And I said, Catherine, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Women can do anything without men's help. And so we're out there. She's got the flashlight. It's been 2 hours. And the neighbor walks by, who happens to be a man. And he says, do you guys need some help? And so we're like, yeah, at this point, yes, we do. So he comes, gets the key, that turns it within a second. And we're like, oh, thank you so much. So we're walking back up the driveway. And my daughter says, so wait, Mom, we do need men to help us. And I said, Catherine, you have totally missed the point of this exercise. That wasn't funny. Y'all aren't laughing.
What is the point?
That we actually, just never mind. Ask another question. This is
Well, I was thinking that your lesson did not age very well.
Dead.
Dead silence.
Dead.
Dead-
ass
What do you mean it
silence.
didn't age well?
It didn't age well. You go to teach your daughter that you don't need men, and it turns out, in fact, you did need men.
Well, just one man.
Just one man.
One man's enough. Well, I'm very disturbed to say. Moving on to Sean.
Oh, thank goodness, because I
today,
wasn't doing well.
Yeah,
No, you're doing great.
This
You're doing great.
afternoon, I'm just going to say it. Sean cheated on the podcast. He came into our podcast. He went straight to the washing machine, took his clothes off, threw them into the washing machine, took a shower like all cheaters do. You were with somebody else podcast today. I'm really disappointed. I
just
can't
a guest.
believe.
I was just a guest.
Yes, yeah, it didn't mean anything. I know. Yeah.
Just this one time.
Just the
It's-
one
it's
time.
actually the
it
second
meant
time I've
not-
been
Oh,
a
it's
guest.
the second time. Well, why don't you just tell us all the podcasts that you've been on, Sean? I'm really I thought we had something special here.
We do have something special. I'm a co-host with you, but I was not a co-host. I was just a guest. It's a difference.
All right. Well, I mean, what was it?
It was it was a recovery podcast.
Were they pretty?
Uh,
Are they better than me?
No, they weren't.
No, it was all.
Oh my God.
It was all dudes. Danny is one of the co-hosts, even though he's the producer and co-host of Recovery Lab.
Which is what?
It's a
What does it sound like?
An experiment in recovery.
no. We talk about issues that pertain and relate to
recovery.
Recovery.
From drugs and alcohol, to
Well,
be more
I mean,
specific.
How much is there to talk about on that?
A lot.
That's got to be
I
like.
mean, we're
think-
coming up on 100 episodes.
Oh,
We
three
did
episodes should pretty much hit it. I would think.
Just stop doing the
three-
drugs and
yeah,
alcohol.
yeah,
There you go.
stop.
Episode 1
Stop.
over.
Just say
like,
no.
like whenever you think you're going to use, don't use.
Well, see,
Okay.
this,
You know,
this,
And
if
then
you
get
can't
revenge.
stop, if you
Get
can't
revenge.
stop, yeah, if you can't stop, go to a meeting, hopefully one that I'm hosting, or hosting. What's the word?
Sharing.
Yeah.
Chairing that I'm chairing. And if you really can't stop, then you got to go to rehab or jail. I mean, that's
how often do you ask?
3 minutes.
How
I
often
got
do
the
you
whole thing.
ask your wife, why are you still going to these meetings?
I would never.
Yeah, I feel like that
And I
would cause a
mean,
problem
yeah,
with
I think-
Bobby.
I think that,
with
I think that
With
might
Bobby.
be a problem.
Bobby is very
Yeah.
upset
I
at the
would-
transfer.
Bobby's dead at this
I
point.
would
We're
be
talking about
Bobby
Bonnie.
if I tried to.
Yes, you would
So-
be, Bobby.
No, but 100 episodes. Come on, Sean. I mean, what?
It's
what-
not my
what- What's left
podcast.
to be said?
Talk to Danny.
He's run out of things to say, and
They-
so he's bringing in people.
We ran out of
to
things to
give-
say in
yeah, y'all
episode
have nothing left to
57.
say.
They bring in different guests and they have different, like we discussed today, essentially the pros of getting sober at a young age and some of the hurdles of getting sober at such a young age. You know, for me, I was 19, almost 20, and both David and Drew went to treatment when they were very young as well. And so we all went to the same long-term treatment facility together, obviously at different times. But we talked about the issues that are unique to getting sober early in life. So that was the general gist of today's episode.
Yeah, it was also about faith-based recovery places and 12-step base. There was a whole lot of different things that were discussed. It was quite interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that like air?
No, it's already aired. But you can listen to it.
Yeah.
Or watch it
yeah.
anytime.
I don't
It's
like my
it's
mic.
called Recovery Lab.
Recovery
You can
Lab.
Why
find it
lab?
on any.
Why lab?
Ask
Ask
Danny. It's
Drew.
his podcast.
It's Drew's podcast.
I mean, it's
Drew Hassan. Do you know Drew? He's an attorney.
Oh,
Yeah, he
we
was
had-
on
we
the
had Drew on.
Effing
Yeah,
podcast.
we had Drew on.
Oh, you had
Oh,
him
you
on as
weren't
a
here.
guest.
Yeah, he cheated.
Yeah,
he cheated on
Show
this
Killer was
podcast
here
with
when-
with our podcast.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's okay if they're cheating with you. It's
Gotcha.
just
Yeah.
when you go cheat with somebody else that there's going to be a problem. I think we all know that. Dead
Dab, however-
silence.
Da-
Dead silence.
Dab, however, is not cheating. She's very thrilled to be
this-
here
this is
today.
her first shot.
yeah. Well, I don't feel like it's going well, but give me some time to kind of warm up, and I can.
I think you're doing great.
Yeah, I think you're doing a
y'all
really
are
great
just
job.
Real positive people.
Today's Groundhog Day. I never keep straight what it means if the badger or groundhog, whatever he is, I guess he's a groundhog.
Yeah. That,
I think that would make sense.
That would make sense. It ought to be
it's not.
Badger
It's
Day.
yeah, badger. Day.
Because when do you see a groundhog? Should be Armadillo Day. Come to
Did-
think
did-
of
Oh
it.
my
Did-
God, we
did
should have a
Armadillo
Bobby
Day
Day.
would be the
What
bomb.
did what did Phil see today?
Phil saw a shadow, so that means something's going to happen. I
Okay,
don't
so
remember
if Phil
exactly
sees
what.
his shadow, he gets scared.
Mm,
I don't know why, and he goes back underground, and then that,
That
means there's more winter.
winter.
What if-
which there's always going
6
to be
weeks
more
more?
winter
But
anyway.
you know, he's
so-
not going to see his shadow if it's not sunny. So it seems like if it was sunny, it would mean less winter.
That's a good point.
It works
Mm.
better
Valid
as a
point.
movie than it does as an actual
movie.
It
national
is such a good movie.
something.
It's the best movie ever.
You know, did you feel a little weird when you watched Groundhog Day the second time? Like, I've already seen this movie. It just keeps going exactly the way that it did the last time that I saw it.
I love the movie. Bill Murray was great in it. Andy McDowell,
Mhm.
just a natural beauty. She was great. The guy that plays, Ned Ryerstein.
Ned
Oh,
Ryerson.
yeah, he's awesome.
Ned
Yeah.
Ryerson.
Yeah, Ned Ryerson. And then, of course, his name was Phil Connors.
Right.
And the cameraman, what was that guy's name? He used to be on Letterman.
Chris Elliott.
Chris Elliott.
Yeah.
He was great. Very
So
funny.
also,
Wait, so what happened to Phil today? Did he?
He saw a
no,
shadow.
he saw a shadow. So, like,
Jeez.
we're going to have more winter as if we weren't going to have it anyway. So
Well,
it's
excellent, because I
a-
just had to buy a new furnace, so now I can use it.
A
Well,
furnace.
that brings me to the next
Silver
thing,
lining.
which is Valentine's Day is coming up. And speaking to the furnace question, at what point in a relationship are you allowed to give your wife or significant other a completely practical gift? Like, I was going to get you a box of chocolates, but instead I got your tires rotated.
Well, if they're
Which
if they're overweight, you shouldn't give them chocolate.
Okay, well, I could,
Kidding. Kidding. So sorry. Though.
okay, but like flowers. I was going to get you a dozen roses, but instead I got your alternator fixed, so now your car is going to run better, which that is the better present.
What about a vacuum?
Well,
Yeah,
High quality vacuum.
cleaner
First of
for
all,
Christmas.
if I can answer this question for you personally, I do know your wife, and I know that a practical gift for anything related to birthday or Valentine's or Christmas is a no-no.
It's a no. It's a hard
Yeah,
no.
I just
Yes.
think that's really pathetic. Like, it's Valentine's Day. Give her some freaking flowers or take her out to dinner in a really crowded, overpriced dinner.
Yeah, which is actually cheaper than automotive repair. So it's a win-win for everybody.
If you love
isn't it?
someone, you would get them the
You
things
set
they
them free.
need. Okay. you would get them
If
the
you love
thing.
someone, you fix their furnace.
Well, no, I
See,
had to
would-
fix my own furnace.
Well, that's
No
what
man.
I'm
Well, I had to
saying.
hire a
Wouldn't
man.
it been nice?
Oh,
Wouldn't it been
man.
nice if you had some man, some big strong man?
But I paid for it.
Yeah, it would have been nice if you had some big strong man say, "You know what, Dabs? It's Valentine's Day. I'm
It's-
fixing your furnace. How about that? That
Oh,
would have been
it's
that would
already
have been
been
okay.
fixed.
Well, work with me.
Oh,
Yes. Okay. Right.
What the fuck? I love this.
I don't know.
All right, so that's 2 holidays.
So,
Strike
but-
2. I got one more to go.
Okay.
One more pitch.
Okay.
Mardi Gras is coming up first
Hate
Tuesday
Mardi
in
Gras.
March.
Hate it.
Hate Mardi Gras.
What?
Yeah, let me tell you something.
What a monster.
Why? How can you hate Mardi
in
Gras?
Georgia, the best state in the
Oh,
world.
the home of Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
All
No,
right.
it's not the home of. I came out here. First of all, I was so glad to know y'all wore shoes and could read, which, by the way, on the Mississippi website, when I moved here, it said, yes, we can read. And I called my mom and I cried and I said, Mom, they even have to put it on their website that they can read.
You came from rural Georgia.
Okay, no, Atlanta is not rural. Okay. Anyway, in Georgia, Mardi Gras is not a big deal, and I don't understand.
Yeah, right.
I don't understand y'all's obsession with the king cake and the people have talked about Christmas lights. Now they have Mardi Gras lights up, and what's
I'm
the
not down
deal?
for the Mardi Gras lights. That's cheating. That's robbing from another holiday, and I don't think you can do that. King cake is totally legit.
Gross.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and
if
I can
you
say
don't
whatever
like-
I want.
Now, if you don't like king cake,
you
I'd-
probably have not had the right.
Oh,
king
I've
cake.
had the best king. Oh, you're gonna love this king cake. It's the best.
Do you like cream cheese?
I mean, on a bagel.
No. Dabs, I know that you like Twinkies.
Oh, that's so rude.
No, it's not. King cake is like a Twinkie on steroids.
No, it's not. Have you had a Twinkie? Oh yeah, I gave you one.
Yes, I've had a
It's
Twinkie.
different. Okay, whatever. I don't get the Mardi Gras obsession here. I mean, I don't. It's weird. And you also eat that food from Louisiana. This Mississippi, not Louisiana. I don't get it.
What food are you talking about? Like jambalaya?
Yeah.
You don't like jambalaya?
I'm from Georgia. People don't eat.
Etouffee? No.
Oh,
Are
You like
Are you
crawfish?
suggesting that because you're from Georgia,
I'm actually
you
not
can you
from
can
Georgia.
only eat food that is consumed in Georgia? Taco Bell must be hard for you.
No. It's just I guess y'all don't. Y'all aren't. You don't understand because you're not from Georgia, which is the best state.
Clearly, it's the best because you don't eat etouffee.
I mean, they serve it there, but it's not this like
It's not good.
obsession.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Etouffee in Georgia is not
How
good.
do you know you haven't been?
Well, because it's not going to be crawfish that is fresh for
Right.
one,
Right.
and they don't know how to make sausage
How
over
do you
there
know?
because all the crawfish comes from Mississippi and Louisiana.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You ever,
I
you ever
mean,
been
have you ever
crawfishing in Georgia?
eaten salmon here? I mean, it didn't come from
No,
Mississippi.
they fly it in fresh, but nobody's
We
flying
fly
crawfish.
our crawfish in fresh.
Oh, you do? I want to see this
Yeah,
flight.
right. That snake's on a plane, but with crawfish. Yeah, I don't think I'm not understanding the.
Do you know
if we
what-
don't eat it
The
in
plane is
Georgia,
like smoking
and I
black
moved
smoke.
to Mississippi where they cook it all the time, I still can't have that because I'm from Georgia and I can only eat Georgia if it's like
Sarah,
grits
hold
or
on.
something.
Sarah last night went on a mission for crawfish and was gone for over 2 hours. She went to one place, they didn't have it, and, blah, blah, blah. At some point, somebody said, oh, a truck is just getting here. It'll take us about 15 minutes. It
Right.
ended up taking 45 minutes. She finally got the crawfish. She decided to order some boiled shrimp in the process, brought it all back, and now the kitchen smells like crawfish and shrimp.
There is a smell.
Yes.
All right, you try another holiday.
How did dry January go for everybody?
Yeah, it went great for me.
It went great for me.
Was wonderful for me.
I succeeded.
I did not enjoy it.
I think it should be renamed to not numbing yourself from life January.
Ew. Yuck. I don't like that at all.
Experience life.
Well, there's an alternative to dry January that I found, which is called no buy January, which is where you pay off your credit
Oh,
cards
that's
and you
bad.
build your cash reserve and don't live paycheck to paycheck. You know, you're not buying things, you're saving up money because you blew it out.
But that can only be used for people that have a lot of disposable income.
Well, everybody can go on a budget, Sean.
Yeah, but I mean,
you, that would be giving up massages, twice a week.
Do
But,
you
for
get
other
massages
people,
twice a week?
no,
Oh, okay.
but for other people, it would be
only 3 times a week.
3 times a week. Yeah. So, one of the things and I was reading this article and they said one of the things that people do during No Buy January is they sell their clothes online.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which is,
I don't get that.
I've seen Rent the Runway and, the party dresses and the prom dresses that are really over the top and you don't want to spend $600 for a dress that you're only going to buy one time. I kind of get that, but just the general idea of buying gently used clothes.
I just don't get why you would take a picture of each dress or each shirt. I mean, it's too much work. Just take it to a consignment shop. I don't get it.
Oh, but you make so much more money if you'll actually put the outfits together and get on Instagram or whatever. You can make some serious money for No Buy January.
Sydney and all of her friends, well, Sydney doesn't really do it, but a lot of her friends that have a lot of clothes. Some of these are friends of your stepdaughter, Olivia.
Yeah.
They have their Instagram page that is solely for their clothes. As a matter of fact, one of Olivia's roommates does this.
Yeah.
And all these girls that are friends with her, they'll end up buying it.
Right.
Because it's been worn once or twice and it's good looking and you can buy great clothes for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that they'll do is they'll Instagram their dorm room stuff, the furnishings for the dorm room and the drapes and whatnot, and the apartment stuff get sold online because it looks so good on Instagram. I want my apartment to look exactly like that, and so I buy it from, the upperclassmen that are graduating.
Can you return it if there's like stains on it? Or like, I'm just asking. I mean, what if?
I suppose you can. I mean, you're going to inspect it. You buy it as is, but when you inspect it, you decide if you're really going to buy it or not.
Right.
But people are going to give you the stink eye because they had 5 other people ask, and now you're looking at it and saying, no, I'm not buying that. Well, I told 5 other people no because you were buying it. So and remember, you're not selling to strangers. You're selling to people that are downstream in the sorority or something. So you're going to get
This is such an entitled conversation here.
It's not entitled. It's
Why
Ole
is it
Miss.
entitled?
Because it's Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
and that's what we're talking about.
It's like, oh, I've only worn this expensive dress once. I can sell it, and then I don't need it anymore.
My daughter. I just said my daughter's not doing that.
I mean, if you have a dress, you should wear it every day until it wears out.
Wrong.
Oh, that's
wait.
That makes no sense at all. No.
You're talking about January save money.
Well, if you are into the No Buy January, then you're selling your stuff and that's it. But you're taking a break from the consumerism of, hey, I got the big dance coming up. I want to look great. And so I'll spend $125 to rent this dress one time, which is saving money because I'm not buying it. I mean, how many times are you going to walk around in a prom dress till it wears out? I don't think so.
Here's the thing that I don't really get or understand. Why do we all need to have a no-buy month in unison?
No, that's a good point. Very good.
Well,
what's the benefit of that?
Well, yeah. Well, why do we need to have a dry January all in unison? I understand the idea to be to kickstart some awareness about what's going on with you.
Well, I think the no dry January is one, giving up drinking is oftentimes a New Year's resolution. And I know a lot of alcoholics at one point in their life would prove to everyone that they weren't an alcoholic by not drinking in the month of January, to say, see, look at me, I'm not a drunk.
I can handle it.
But
So-
it's February 1st. Let's go get some more alcohol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, in October, November, No Shave November. That is to help raise awareness, for what's the cause?
Oh my God. I
I've
think it's
never heard of it.
Prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Yes.
No Shave November.
Yeah, and all the urology guys wear these like really creepy mustaches.
Yeah.
I'm not going with this.
You have the breast
I'm not
cancer is in
supporting
October.
those.
Breast cancer, you don't wear any bra.
Okay, I can get behind that.
I don't know. I just made
Pink,
that up.
and you wear pink. That's in October.
Yeah, I
No
live
Shave
with that.
November.
Not with that.
Okay. And so guys don't shave, they grow their beard, and it's all to generate awareness and hopefully dollars donated for research for prostate cancer.
If you want to donate to medical research, that's fine. But I've had it with the younger generation that grow these nasty Civil War looking shovel beards. It's not a good look. Stop it. These guys wearing just these crazy,
Like Duck
nasty
Dynasty
beards. Yeah,
kinda?
stop. Go away with that. It's not a good
I feel
look.
like people can be who they want to be, and if they want to grow a nasty beard, let them. I mean,
I'm not trying to pass a constitutional amendment to make it illegal. I'm just saying it's a bad look.
So
Don't do it.
in the late 70s, early 80s, beards were kind of a thing, and then beards went away in the 80s, and no one wore a beard. But now it's like there is no more don't wear it or wear it. I mean, it's almost like 50-50. Half the guys you see today, have some sort of beard. Not, the stubble is gone. It's just a beard.
In the 70s, mustaches were a big thing,
Creepy.
and
Very creepy.
everybody who could grow one had one, and now it is looking back at those photographs, with the big fat ties and the rayon suits and the creepy looking mustaches. Everything about the 70s is
It's
just
like
kind
a
of
porn star mustache.
gross. It is. It's just a bad look, and every now and then some baseball player will break out the mustache, and you're like, you're making a statement, man. And I'm not sure that it's a great one. So I don't know what y'all did this weekend. We had High School Musical weekend.
Jazzy. Were you at Jazzy?
It was Hello Dolly.
Oh.
MRA did Hello Dolly at the St. Joe's, got the theater for the performing arts. Or did y'all do High School Musicals back in your day?
Sarah
Yeah.
took one of our girls, Kate, to see that at St. Joe.
And it was done really well, I would say. Like really well. I was
And y'all
really
did
happy
Jazzy?
with it.
Jazzy was this weekend, the best show choir invitational in state of Mississippi.
How late were y'all there?
Oh, how late was I there, or how late were the kids there?
Both.
Oh, I think I went home at 6. The kids were there till 1 a.m.
Wow.
Both nights.
Yeah. I mean,
Both nights.
I had
Did you go get them
Well, yeah.
at 1?
Well, so my oldest, they go to Waffle House after that. So
of course.
she just went to Waffle House, and then my youngest I went and got.
Who brought her home after Waffle House?
Just a friend. I
Uh,
mean, not like the parents, like the cars. I don't want to name drop or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that to me, that stuff was really hard as a parent because the kids would be in church choir or they would be in band and they had the Christmas concert. And every adult that walks in there, they get the little paper, what is it called? That has a list of the songs and introduces here's all the
program?
kids, the program. And the first thing you do when you get the program is you count the songs.
Oh yeah, I
And
do
you
it.
go, oh my God, 12 songs. And
And then it comes 5 left.
5,
4
yeah.
left.
You know
3
what?
left.
Yeah, I mean, what they really need is like in boxing where they have the ring girls that have the card, and it's like this is the 5th round. Be like, this is song number 5. Walk around. All right, 12 to go, and everybody's like, oh my God, we're down to 2 more. This is a beautiful thing. And I don't know if the kids are aware that the adults are just sitting there counting the songs.
Well,
going,
now they
my
are.
God, yeah. Well,
we have so many kid listeners.
yeah.
There are
I'm
people
not really
though,
worried
there are
about it.
people that do love. I mean, I know adults that love to go and watch this. I mean, they're all into it. I'm like,
Christmas
get me
Man.
programs?
anything.
No, I got to say, Jazzy was really well done. It was really incredible. And I'm not saying that because that's my kid's school. I mean, I really was impressed with it.
Well, what high school won yesterday?
I don't know.
Prep, J, or some other?
I didn't stay for the
Oh,
award.
okay.
What's good for you?
Yeah.
I say good for you. What was really painful for me was, with my kids in band, they would have these, maybe 2 a year, there would be these band competitions, marching band competitions, where you go out to somebody's football stadium and it was 10 minutes of setup, and then the marching band plays these songs that are totally unrecognizable for 15 minutes, and they're marching around. Not, it'd be nice if they would make a duck or a boat or a cat or a square or a sunburst
Bobby
or a
in the
flower
armadillo.
or something, but it's just all these random, like the shape of throw up on the field. I don't know what that is.
Well,
and
let
then
me
they
ask
march
you a question
around.
because you seem very critical. Let me just ask you. I have a really good friend. She was in the marching band at LSU. That's like they're real people.
I didn't say they weren't people.
No, but I mean,
His
like,
kid,
I'm
his
pretty sure
kid,
both
his
of my
kids were
kids
in,
who were also people.
no, I
so
don't
far
mean
as
people.
I could tell.
It was very hard. Like she said, if she took like one misstep, she was kicked off the band.
Oh, well, let me tell you. My daughter was.
well, that's it at the high level.
Yeah, look, my
Well, it's
daughter
LSU,
was
I
a
don't know.
band.
Your kids must have gone.
We
in.
have
Dead
dead silence. So
stop.
you've stopped Dave in his
Did you? I'm
tracks.
sorry. Were you in LSU?
Oh,
Oh,
he is
talk
a-
about LSU and the animal cruelty.
He-
How about they keep that tiger against his will in that cage?
How do you know it's against his will?
You know, okay,
What do you think he wants to do all day?
eat you.
not sit in a
Eat other
cage.
people, Yeah.
Have you been to the cage? It's
Mike's
fantastic.
cage?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The cage that they wheel out there on this field.
Not that they don't know. They have not put LSU's tiger in that cage in probably 25 years.
That's not true.
That is true.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm real critical.
It is-
I'm the one who's critical. No, what I was going to say is my daughter was a total band nerd, and she owned it. And
Did she go to
loved
band
it.
camp?
Absolutely, both of them did, and one band camp.
Were you
like-
aware
One
of
time
what
at
went
band
on
camp?
at band camp?
Oh yeah, band
Oh,
camp.
no.
More than I want to admit. But apparently, the way that marching band works is you'll have these section leaders, and it's their job to go to the correct part of the field at the correct time, and then their little section, they don't worry about it. They just guide off of this one person. Like, just stay 3 steps behind Maggie, and you're slick. And so, when she had the first football game as a freshman, she was already the head of her section because she was just down for it. She loved it. And after the football game, she was just inconsolable because instead of going to like the hash mark on the 15-yard line, she went to the hash mark on like the 5-yard line. Like she's 30 feet off. She
That's
was
a pretty
way
big
off.
miss.
Pretty big miss. And
Yeah.
she was just inconsolable. And I said, Maggie, relax. Nobody cares.
No,
Oh,
they did.
Nobody
No.
noticed.
They-
Look,
no,
nobody
they did
noticed.
notice. They noticed.
Nobody that matters noticed, and nobody cares. Do you really think that the people in the stands, A, know what it is, what y'all were trying to form, B, even cares about whether y'all hit the we're just like, do I know this song? No, I don't know this song. When is this going to be over? And it's,
Do your
so that's how I
children-
consoled her.
They-
And she felt much better after that because she realized, oh, so there's no pressure. This is a meaningless, useless activity.
Or she thought my dad doesn't really care about anything I do, and I'm going to need therapy.
No,
For
she
the
thought
rest of my life.
No, she
Rest
thought
of my
she
life.
thought the first thing. So she had 4 years of happily being in the band until she quit at the very end. But that's another story. So that's anytime somebody's upset about something, you just reiterate to them, you know, in the big scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Yes, Les, this is very important to you, sweetheart, and I know it's a passion, but no one really cares about your goals or dreams.
Nobody
so
cares about.
don't worry
Look, let me.
about it.
If
Also, you're a piece of shit.
I didn't say that, but if
And you're not
60
going to
years,
make it in life.
Never.
right?
You're not going to
60
make
years-
anything happen ever in your
if
life.
60 years of living has taught me anything, believe
It's
me,
terrible.
nobody cares.
Oh,
I can
God.
promise you,
Okay, let me
nobody
tell you,
cares.
I care about my daughter. In fact, I care both
Well,
of them.
I care about my kid, but she was
I don't
upset
think
that
you
everybody in the
do.
stands was upset. She wasn't. She knew She knew that I care about her and her development as a person, but the people in the stands don't care. The people that see you fail don't care. When you go to the gym and you feel like, oh, everybody's looking at me because I don't know how the machine works. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if your clothes match. Nobody cares if your hair is done. Nobody cares. And it's
You're
the most
clearly a man.
liberating idea in the world.
Clearly a man.
No, I think what you're saying, and I understand the point, which is if you step on the 5-yard line instead of the 8-yard line, I mean, yes, everyone in the band is going to be, you let us down a little bit. I wish you wouldn't have done that. But to me, if my kid is not in the band and I'm up there watching, I'm talking with my friends because my kid's playing football and the band's going on, I'm not really paying attention. And if I saw it, I'm not going, that child is, Satan's spawn and look, they're terrible. And I can't believe they would let that person out there. I think that's your point.
Yeah,
Is it people like me who have no connection to them or the band? They're not worried about it.
No, the only people that are upset is like those Karens out there. She went to the wrong mark on the football. I mean, those are the people
The
who
band
do
moms.
care. Yeah, the band moms, they care, but also they should be. You should get busy with the job of disregarding any pressure that they bring on you because they are just.
There's actually been papers
Awful
written
people.
about that. I wrote a nice email to the school where I quoted the NIH studies about about this in high
But-
school and middle school.
About what?
The pressure they put on these kids to win competitions, it actually is worse for the kids.
Sure.
Sure it is.
And it's really just all about the parents and their need to.
Same with youth baseball.
Oh, yeah, same with
My-
youth sports. I don't understand the idea that they recruit. I do understand it, sadly, that they recruit, these high schools recruit the best athletes so that they can win. Again, the only people who care about whether their team wins the high school tournament, these are people whose opinions should be disregarded. You
I
know,
mean, the whole point of high school sports is to learn about teams, to learn how to play a game, to learn how to be active. And you're cutting these kids in 5th grade, 6th grade from,
Well,
from playing sports. Horrible.
It happened to my daughter when she was trying to play basketball in 7th grade because they recruited students to come in to JA and play junior high basketball so that they could play high school basketball. So when they came in, they weren't JA students. They came in, they took those spots, and people like my daughter were not allowed to play because those spots were taken. So it destroyed her ability. And then like guys that were wanting to play football that had been a lifelong student at JA, they were not able to continue to play football because they were recruiting people to come in and play at that position, all for the cost of what? Winning, so somebody's parent can say, oh, we beat prep this year.
yeah, but the parent is the parent of that kid that was recruited. And, they used to live in Meridian. So you pulled the parent and or the family from Meridian so that this kid could play basketball. I don't get I don't get the idea.
I get that, but if you're not a good basketball player, you should still be allowed to be on the team. I mean, I get that some schools you can't let everybody on, but part of a team mentality is learning how to operate as a team. And you may not be the one scoring points, but your contribution to the team and your camaraderie is a very important lesson to learn. And they don't learn it, and it upsets me. But they don't care about my NIH papers that I quote in my emails.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, my son played youth. I mean, all of my kids played youth baseball. My two boys played not just rec, but they played select. And my oldest son, who he was recruited to play college football, but he was better at baseball in my opinion. But he played the highest level of select baseball. We played all over the South, and it was.
God, that just sounds like hell to me.
Yeah, it was because this would be so at the beginning of the season. You're here. You're in January. Okay, you're practicing in
You're
January.
sober.
Yeah, I was
In January, sober.
Oh yes, and so you would get a schedule. We're going to play 15 weekends from now until whenever, and so they would space it out. Okay, so it wasn't every weekend, but then inevitably it would be you'd be like on a Wednesday practice, and the coach and I coached a lot, but on the select teams I wasn't really a coach on a lot of the select teams that Nick played on, but I knew all of the coaches. And so one of the coaches would be like, well, we think that we ought to play in this tournament this weekend over in Meridian because we've got next week's tournament, which really matters because we're going to get all these points. And we really don't want the kids not doing anything this weekend because we want them to stay in a groove. So we're going to pick up this weekend, which then meant I had to get a hotel room in Meridian for Friday night and Saturday night. I had to take my two younger kids with me for the weekend, and we would sit in Meridian to play 2 games on Saturday, one in the morning and one in late in the afternoon or one in the evening. So you would sit around and do nothing during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And then our team was always winning, which means that
Which is the curse. It's the worst possible thing that could happen.
Our team was always winning.
No, my oldest son's
That's exactly what it sounded like.
my oldest son's
Poor
teams
me.
were.
Believe me, it is the worst thing that can happen.
Because what happens on Sunday is you're not playing in the play-in. You're waiting for other teams to come in because you're number one in your pool. And so you don't play your first game until like 3 on Sunday afternoon. And then if you don't win that game, you're playing a second one at like 5:30, right. And then you could be playing at 7:30 on a Sunday night in Meridian.
God forbid you win that game.
And this is why all the parents are drinking.
I wasn't drinking.
I know you weren't. I'm just saying that's why, because they're sitting out there all weekend long and they're like, dear God, what are we going to do?
We had to get a game in one time, I kid you not, in Canton. It was 1 a.m. when the game started, and it was 32 degrees and sleeting when it started.
How old were they?
Yeah.
Well, Nicholas was, I think, 12.
12 years old.
Nick
That's
was
how
12.
important. That's how important
my
this game
ex-wife
was.
said she would take one for the team and stay. I'm sure she was up to no good. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
God.
And then I'm just kidding. I'm good. I really should
I'll
have
be
said
playing
that.
this during the deposition.
So I took the other 2 home because Parker was. I think he was probably 9, and Sydney was like 5 or 6, and so it's like what are they doing it on a Friday night in Canton at 1 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, my other theory is it could be that they have to drink to cope with it, or it's like an excuse to, going out to all these weekend baseball tournaments is their excuse to drink. Like people buy a pontoon boat so that they have a platform to just blow their brains out every nice weekend. And why do you get the boat? So we'll have a place to drink. You don't have a place to drink already? Why are you going to the youth baseball tournament? Oh, we have such a good time. What do? Drink myself blind. And then my kid plays baseball. It's perfect.
Yeah, I
It's
had a
really
friend
sad.
that would take his RV, and he would take his RV for all these
He's bringing
away.
his own lounge with him.
Yeah, and all the dads that drank would go hang out in there and watch, watch whatever and drink, and they'd grill out, and I mean,
Perfect.
yeah. Of course, I was sober and not doing any of that, so I mean,
Let me ask you a question on that, since I don't drink, but why do people drink? deep thoughts.
Well,
by
David is not a
Gabs.
big drinker, first
Oh.
of all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker, but
Like, I mean,
rumor
what's
rumor has it it's a good feeling. Like there's just the good feeling of it, of that little buzz.
Well, you're either drinking for two reasons. One, to get obliterated, because that's what alcoholics want to do. Or two, you're not an alcoholic and you're drinking just enough to kind of lighten up and enjoy the slight buzz.
Take the edge off, makes you a lot more sociable.
Does it, though? Have you watched people
oh,
drinking?
yeah.
They're,
Oh, yeah.
they're
Yeah.
sociable, but they're
10,000%.
obnoxious. Yeah.
Well, not to all the other people who are drinking.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, if you go to a dinner party and everybody's having wine, they're all having fun. The wine makes everybody more social and convivial, and it's, you know, kind of a social lubricant, and everybody feels great about it. Now, you're right that if one or two people just get completely lit up, it can ruin the vibe.
Sure.
But as long as everybody can handle their high, you know, it's good times.
Mm.
I've had to learn, and I have over the years, to have just as much fun as the guy drinking and not drinking.
Well,
agree.
I would argue you're actually having more fun because the person drinking, really, their mind's not sharp.
Well,
yeah, but what's
but
but
but hold on.
that makes it fun.
that's for the
Mm.
person that is, you know, getting wasted. The guy that's not getting wasted, that's having a slight buzz, I mean,
Having a great time.
they're
That gets
having
a
a great
glass
time.
of wine and doesn't finish it,
yeah,
like some
exactly. You know,
weirdo.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can
Yeah, I
do
mean,
that.
you paid like $10 for that. I mean, that's like
Well,
going to
no,
Golden
but,
Corral
you know,
and only getting one
you're at
plate.
a dinner party. You're at the country club, and everybody's sitting around. They have a glass or two, and they don't get obliterated, and they just, you know, they feel great. It adds to the warmth of the occasion.
Which is what millions of normal people
Normal
do.
people do it every
Yeah.
night.
I got no problem with
like
those people.
You
I
remember
mean,
when you went to? Did you go to dances in 7th grade in Georgia?
And I did not drink.
Did you go? I mean, but did you go to dances in Georgia?
Yeah, but they were totally different than here.
Yeah,
we
but
did.
everyone had
There was
social
no Mardi
anxiety.
Gras.
Everyone had social anxiety. You know, the guys were on one side, the girls were on the other. If you were going to go dance, you had to get a couple of guys and a couple of girls all do it at the same time. I mean,
Isn't that how we dance now?
no, I mean,
no.
Oh,
you've been dating the wrong people.
yes, we talked about that earlier.
but everyone has that social anxiety. You throw a little beer in there, and man, it's just like, boy, you were.
Talk to strangers.
I mean-
I tell you what, I was in med school and I was at a party that was kind of boring, I will say. And I left and I came back and they were playing It's Getting Hot in Here. And within it had only been an hour. Everybody was stripped down to nothing and we're dancing. More or less like underwear and stuff. And
Nice.
They're waiting for you to go, Dabs.
yeah, and then I came back and it was just weird.
Did everyone stop
Yeah,
when
I
you
would
walked
say
back
it
in?
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
close on when they
Rushed
are.
I don't know
Keep
why.
going on.
I don't know why I told that story because I'm not sure in my mind it related. But
How
now
does the
that
story end? I think is what everybody.
well, I
wants
think
to
I
know.
left because it was just bizarre. They were all and they had the room hot, like they were sweating on purpose, like they
Like
turned
hot yoga.
turned on the heat.
Was this a party where they had a bowl of car keys and you just
I don't know, but those pineapples, I don't know why they were all. So I just learned if you're in the grocery store and you buy a pineapple and you turn it upside down, that means you're looking. And so
You just learned this.
it just did, yeah.
Wow.
And so I'm racking my brain.
were the
pineapple
last-
is the universal
you were the
sign
last
for
one.
swingers.
You were the last
Well, I
one.
know, but so I'm racking my brain. The
There's a
last
lot of
time
them
I was in the grocery
allegedly
store-
out there, and
Yeah, I know. Let's not.
There's a lot
dog.
of them all over the place.
But anyway, I don't remember. Do I put my pineapple upside down or not? I mean, were people thinking I was looking? I don't know. Is that why?
Did you get approached?
Well, yeah. I always get approached.
How'd that work out?
you got approached in the grocery store while you had your pineapple in your
I mean,
buggy.
I get approached a lot because I always look like I'm completely confused. So people try to help me. But wait, let's talk about something else. I don't know why that was.
No, I want to hear.
Well,
how
no.
this works.
No
People-
one ever
people just walk-
approaches me in the
Nobody ever
grocery
approaches
store.
me. People walk up to you and say, "You look confused," or
No, they're
"I
just
noticed
like-
your pineapple's
No,
upside down."
They, like I was at the grocery store the other day and I couldn't get the cart and the security guard goes, "Ma'am, let me help you."
You couldn't do what?
Another man offering to help.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't
God.
need. You don't
Those
need
assholes.
men.
And then I was checking out and I couldn't figure out how to check. I mean, you know, I got a lot going up here in my mind, and
it
I
doesn't
can't.
sound like it.
No, I mean, so rude. No, I have a lot of I'm a fun mind. Like my mind is the best place to be because there's so many interesting
Now that
things
you're
going on.
sober,
Sober, not sober. I have a great mind.
I don't disagree.
Ricky Gervais says that he said that his mind is like a comedy club that never closes. And a lot of times he'll just spontaneously start laughing because somebody in his head will say something hilarious. And he said, I can't express it in a way that's anywhere close to the way that I hear it in my head. So he said, all my best material I never even use because I've got this comedy club thing going on in my head all the time.
That's why I don't like to talk to people because I'm like, God, I'm so much more interesting in my head than you are.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. You and Bobby.
Bobby.
Dead silence. So,
Yeah.
easy boy.
That,
Speaking of social anxiety, have you been to a Mexican restaurant since January the 20th?
You know,
Why?
Things done changed.
I mean, everyone
What
wants, the other illegal immigrants to go, but they want their
I
non-American.
want my.
I want my non-American
Right.
to stay.
wait, what's happened at the Mexican restaurants?
A lot
we're-
of them are
yeah.
being.
Should we tell her?
mass deportations
Yes.
are
From Mexican
underway.
restaurants?
Well, a
Well,
lot of
that's where
illegals
they
work
are.
at Mexican
How do you-
restaurants.
You don't know that.
A lot do.
What? I don't know that. Trust me, I know that. Yeah, there was
So literally, you go to a Mexican restaurant, there's no one to serve you?
Well, if they get raided by ICE,
at a Mexican restaurant I won't name in Madison, some guy they came to pick him up because they got a
he was up for a sex charge.
he was up
And
for,
they ended
for a
up
sex
arresting
charge. They
half the
wound up
restaurant.
arresting like half the staff.
This happened this week.
For sex charges?
No.
No, for like, by the way, can we see some documentation? Can we see your driver's license? And
They
people
went
start
there
hitting the
to
back
get
door. Why is
a
it terrible?
criminal.
It's
Terrible.
A criminal who had been arrested. I guess he was out on parole or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know that part of the story.
Anyway, they went to get a guy who was had committed a crime, and they were going to take him and deport him. And so when they showed up at the restaurant in Madison, do we know which restaurant this was?
We do, but I feel
do
like
know,
we
but I'm not
shouldn't
gonna. I don't
say,
want to say
yeah.
it.
Okay, so they go there to this unnamed restaurant in Madison, and while they're there, they realize that half of the staff are undocumented illegal immigrants.
And they never realized that before.
They
don't know where
never
they're-
serious about deporting, doing mass deportations, and since January 20, they've gotten
Oh, I just got
dead.
that.
They've gotten dead serious about doing
just
mass
was not thinking.
deportations.
Well, that scares me.
Well, you're not here illegally.
Yeah, you're gonna be. I
How do
think
you
you're gonna
know?
be okay.
How do you know? I've changed my name several times.
You have changed your name a lot
Well,
I just feel scared.
for them.
I feel scared, and I will identify that color. It's like a red square, and
Well, you are wearing red.
I know it's kind of odd how that happens with me.
Yes.
Red
Red is a power color too.
Yeah, and I'm not that powerful, but I feel there's a lot of fear, and I know I'm probably not in a room with people that are going to appreciate this, but it scares me.
Well, that's fine.
Thank you for
Yeah.
validating my fear.
in
Yeah.
other
Yeah, whatever you
You're
think.
still a good
Paz.
person.
yeah,
I'm still a good person, though. I mean, I will say this because I had this conversation with a good friend of mine the other day. I think everyone is for, oh, you're here, you've committed a crime, get them out of here. I mean, there are people where it is a sad story, and I am a little conflicted for the guy that came here 30 years ago, undocumented. He started, working at a restaurant,
Being
or-
abused by this.
no,
the
whatever.
system.
He has a family, gets married, has kids. The kids are born here, and then he's running a restaurant, and then they come in there and they're like, "Oh, you've been here illegally for 30 years. See you, buddy." And he's got grandkids that are all here legally. I mean, those stories. I mean, nobody, I don't think, really wants that guy to be deported. I don't think that's
No,
what the
I
gist of
would
the
disagree.
deportation purpose
Well, let me
is,
just say,
right?
I think everybody needs to go home tonight and read the book Refugee. And I think you will have a different perspective on this. Also, I recommend Blackfish so that you will never again support the dolphin or other zoos. I won't go to zoos. I just do not support that. Blackfish and Refugee.
Blackfish is the killer whale, though.
I understand, but all sea animals can be abused.
Dabs has a calling in life to protect all sea animals from enclosure.
And zoos. I won't go to zoos.
And armadillos.
And armadillos.
Yes.
It all comes into
Just
focus.
as long as I marinate them for 24 hours.
It's okay to trap them temporarily. You just have to deport them back to the wild.
Relocate them. They were attacking my dog.
Well, see, that's all Trump is really doing is relocating them.
He's rehoming them.
Kind of like the armadillo.
In other legal news,
Dabs wasn't saying anything, but her eyes sure were.
in one of the more interesting lawsuits that I saw getting filed, a woman is suing. She is a gravity impaired woman.
Gravity
Is
impaired.
that the polite way to put?
She can't jump?
She ain't doing no jumping. I can promise you that.
I've seen this.
She
Oh,
is
yes.
she's
the rapper.
highly gravity impaired.
What does that mean?
She's
Wait,
morbidly obese.
Gravity impaired.
Yeah,
The
we
lady in
speak
the
with
Uber?
She's
respect
heavy.
We speak with respect around here.
okay.
I mean, she
She's
may
suing
be
Lyft.
500 to 600 pounds.
Okay. Well, let's just support eating disorders by discussing fat people.
Well, no. She sued Uber or Lyft.
I didn't
Lyft. It
use
was
that
Lyft.
filthy word. I said she was gravity impaired.
Yeah, I
And
didn't say
she's
fat.
su-
I just said
she's-
she was morbidly obese, which is the medical terminology.
Anyway, so what happened to her?
So,
She sued?
so she's suing Lyft because a Lyft driver saw that she was so impaired and decided you're not riding in my car. I don't think I can make a room. I don't think I can make room for you in my car. And
Was it true, though? Could he not?
Have you seen her?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
She's morbidly obese, and the Lyft rider refused to let her in his car because he owns the car.
Right.
And what was she going to do? Pop all the tires?
I'm telling you,
That
this
seemed to
girl
have
is
been the
really
fear.
big.
I'm
And he was
Yeah.
afraid to put her in the car.
okay, no offense. What state do you guys live in? Because I live in Mississippi.
Mhm.
And this woman does not look any different than.
Oh, what a slander on the state of Mississippi.
I'm just saying.
Even in Mississippi, this is
She's
No,
rather large.
she is
Okay, but
she's
she-
on the chart at
she
Walmart
could
for
have.
sure.
She could have fit in the car.
Well,
I don't.
first of all, the lawsuit's going nowhere,
No.
and we know
Obviously.
why. Because being morbidly obese is not a protected class.
Yeah.
So you lose.
I can turn you down because I don't like the shape of your nose.
Yes,
Doesn't
I mean
matter.
she's losing. That case is going nowhere.
I feel like we need to have some empathy classes with you guys.
Well, I mean it's just the law.
No.
That's just the law.
No.
I mean, we can't support everybody here.
No.
I mean,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
moving
I'm
on.
not
moving
really-
on.
I'm not really
I'm
having an
supporting the
empathy.
Lyft driver in that situation.
too.
I think he has the right to say, "You're not getting in my car and breaking my seat."
Well, he has a very small car. Also, it's a very small
Yeah.
car.
Oh, was it?
It was like a Kia
I just don't think it was going to break the seat, but okay.
or Prius.
I think that he has to prove now. This is what they need to do. They have to get a Prius. They have to put whatever her weight was,
Prius?
whatever it was, whatever car. They have to put that amount of weight in the back seat.
It's not just the weight; it's the mass. Like there's only so much space between the front seat and the back seat.
Well, she was going to.
Okay, let me ask you this, Dabs.
Okay.
Since you're defending her.
Yeah, I am. I'm not a lawyer though.
Okay, so you're sitting in coach on an airplane,
Sure.
and you have the middle seat,
Love
and
it.
there's a skinny little joker right here on the aisle,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an empty seat between the window and you, and she walks in.
Oh, I love it. I'll tell you why I love it. Because I can lean up against her and take a nap.
Oh,
She's going to take your seat.
No, she's not. We can switch
Yes.
them together.
There's no way she's fitting in one airline
No way.
seat.
I mean, it's physics.
That is physically impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, well then they can
But-
upgrade me to first class.
No, but they're not.
They're not going
That's the
to.
point. They're not going to do anything. They're going to say, "Tough it out.
Well,
it's
if-
your
if-
problem
if-
and not ours."
So, but I have to have my seatbelt on before we take off. So
But
what are they
she's
gonna
going
do
to
then?
sit on top of you. I
On
mean, that's
top of you.
that's
Yeah.
the
Can I s-
problem.
but I would prefer to sit on top of her and like.
But
kinda-
that ain't.
you're not
how-
being
that ain't
reasonable
how
here.
it's
You're not
gonna
being
roll.
reasonable.
That's not how it's going to go, Dad.
Okay, well let's find something we can all talk about that we agree on.
I like this. Actually.
well,
Well, I
It's-
mean, it's a topic of conversation in the world today. I mean, she did sue.
Well, okay. I wrote this one down since we're on the airplane now. why is the guy on the airplane not wearing headphones in flight while he's listening to his music or he's watching the movie on the seat in front of him?
Or
Can
wearing the headphones that you can still hear.
Can we somehow, that's the rule. If we're not going to change the rules for gravity impaired people, can we at least say,
For hearing impaired.
yeah, if you know,
think that's
can we
protected.
at least say your headphones have to, you got to wear headphones and you got to turn it down so that I'm not listening to your music or your show.
Well, and just in defense of that, what about the obnoxious person sitting behind you that continues to carry on a conversation despite the fact that no one wants to hear what they have to say?
Nobody wants to hear what they say. Well,
That's the same.
this takes me to the movie theater. By the way, I finally got to see Nosferatu. You seen it?
No. Did you like it?
It's not scary at all. They threw in a couple of jump scares just to say that it's scary, but it was not scary. It was very cinematic.
Okay.
And to me, cinematic means if you don't know anything about the movie or the characters or the plot or anything, and you just stop the movie and take a photo or you use the frame that's on the screen as a photograph, is that a good photograph? Is that an artistic photograph?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have, okay. You have a...
First of all, what is this movie?
Nosferatu it's not a remake, but it's kind of a homage to a 1923 German vampire movie that's just a classic. It's one of the great silent films of all time. And so
Did you know who Nosferatu was?
Well, clearly not.
like a Dracula.
Dracula.
Okay.
Dragula.
And so this is a modern version of that story. But you know, you'll have a shot of somebody walking through the woods, and forget about the movie, just the picture of it's beautifully framed. The shadows are menacing.
I love cinematography.
I mean, it's just beautiful.
Sure.
And it was over and over and over again. I'm like, that is just so beautiful. It was like walking through
like in Gladiator,
art gallery.
like in Gladiator 1, when he's walking through the fields of the hay. Have you seen that?
Hadn't seen that.
You never saw
I couldn't
that?
watch
I
it
don't
'cause
know
that
if you
movie
guys
was so
remember.
What
I
is your
stupid.
favorite movie?
Oh, my favorite movie of all time is Parent Trap with Haley Mills.
Okay.
Dead silence.
Any other movies other than Parent Trap?
I'm sure I've seen another movie.
Like what's your favorite movie that won, an Oscar for best movie?
I don't
Do you
watch
have
a
any?
lot
No.
of movies.
All right. She's not a movie person.
So anyway, I'm watching the movie and the guys watching, I assume TikTok or something like that.
Oh, you went to the theater.
Yeah, I went to the theater. And so there's the guy over behind my shoulder who's watching TikTok. And I thought that may be the most modern thing in the world. I can get mad about it, but 10 years from now, everybody's going to be doing in the movie theater like they do at home, where you're watching the show, but if the show drags at the least little bit, out comes the phone and you start watching social media.
So this past year, Sydney and I love movies, and we were at the movie theater in Madison at the one right there at the Renaissance. And so we're in there and we're back row, and in comes 3 teenage girls. Okay. And they're sitting right down from us. And from the beginning, before the movie even started, during the credits, they are on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
They are Snapchatting, taking pictures. They're talking in their normal voice, not hushed whispers. And about 10 minutes into the movie, I couldn't take it anymore. And of course, Sydney is just begging me, Dad, don't do it. And I said, if you're not going to watch the movie, would you please leave?
Wow.
And of course, they got immediately scared. They put their phones down, and it worked.
Did any of them have blonde hair?
No.
Okay.
They did not.
In true movie fashion.
Hold on. I'm not through with my story.
It gets
So at
Worse.
some point, about midway through the movie, they leave. So, Sydney and I are like, we watch the movie, we watch it in peace. And so when we go to leave, we come out, and now there are about 4 or 5 male teenagers that are there with them in the hall. And when we come out, they start telling these boys there they are.
Uh-oh.
And Sydney and I are like,
Were you scared?
honestly, I was. And there were no cops around. And Sydney and I took a hard right, and we went out like the side entrance of the Renaissance and came out the back. We didn't go through the front because they were between us and the front entrance.
That's why you should never. Have you seen that show?
And Sydney was like, Dad, you could have gotten a shot.
Yeah.
These were, this was someone that honestly could have shot us.
Well, have you seen that movie, Russell Crowe, where he road rage, or it's called something like that, and someone honks at him and he ends up killing her whole family. He's so mad about it. But
I haven't seen that
what's
movie.
it called? It's called
I don't really like those kind of movies because it creates some sort of trauma for me since I'm driving fast.
Yeah, you should watch it.
Yes, I don't want to watch those.
Well, till you ran away, I wanted to give you the most movie-ish thing in the world. I wanted to give you the slow clap.
Yes.
You know what the slow clap is in the movie?
Clearly not.
When the guy makes a speech or he does the heroic thing, there's one guy in the locker room who will do this. And then another person will join in, and then they start doing that. And any movie with teenagers is going to have a slow clap in the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Well, my daughter went to the Eras movie, the Taylor Swift movie, right? Taylor went on record saying that she wanted people to get up and dance and to cheer.
Well, that's like going to the Rocky.
hold on.
That's like going to Rocky Horror. You don't go there to. You're supposed to stand up.
Okay, but not everybody in the theater believed that. So these people went and complained about my perfect child.
Okay.
And her friends that they were up dancing, and I was so proud of her because at the part where there's this one of her songs, she says, "It's not you, it's me." She turned around and she looked at that lady and she said, "No, wait, I can't remember the word."
This was a Karen that she was speaking to.
Yeah, she's like, "It's me. I'm the one." I was so proud.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. If I knew the words, it would have been better. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Well, Dabs, appreciate you coming on.
Oh, is it already
It's
over?
been
Well,
fun. Yeah.
I'd like to just say I don't think I've done my best job. I was really nervous today, and I think if you maybe let me come again, I can get past that.
Well, you're coming again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did you
It's not an option.
Yeah,
It's-
Well, I didn't know if
Danny has already put the vibe out there on the. What was your
the interweb?
Yeah, well,
on the
I think I
interweb?
did better on my tryout.
We had a good tryout.
It
The
was.
tryout was
It was
good.
good.
It was
Yeah,
really
and
good.
I don't feel like I've done as well today, but this was new, and y'all talked about things I didn't know, and I couldn't control the conversation, and that's hard for me.
Sean was disturbing, but it all came
How
around.
was I disturbing today?
Well,
you know how you are.
to my public that's out there watching me, I would just like to say
To our public.
to my public that's out there watching, I would just like to say I hope I didn't let you down. I'll be glad to do better next time. Just keep watching, and we'll get some sponsors.
And throw your prayers up for Bobby.
Bobby's kids are looking for him.
I bet Bobby is dead.
Zed-
just kidding.
Zed's
I'm just
dead,
kidding.
man.
We'll see you next week.
I'm just,
Danny,
on
get me outta here.
that bombshell.